If you're in between the ages of 19 and 23, these are the things you should be focusing on. Not what you see on TikTok, not what your friends may tell you, but the things that will actually put you ahead in this life. See, I'm only 22, but the last year and a half I spent traveling Thailand, running multiple successful online businesses. Was there longevity to them? No, unfortunately not. However, there were many things I took from that I'm using today, even on this channel and on my Instagram, in the gym, everything in my life pretty much that has ascended recently was due to that time and duration spent abroad, finding myself, putting myself in uncomfortable situations, learning how to run a business from scratch. No business qualifications. I just put myself out there, right? I started throwing shit at a wall and seeing what stuck and what didn't, I guess you could say. Now, I'm not trying to talk about me and my story. You can go and look at my Instagram and through this YouTube channel if you want to go see for yourself. My Instagram is at parker.moves. 610 of you guys. Let's go. But a quick piece I wanted to add on to that before I get into the rest of this video is just me being more intentional with my content. I want to be super specific to who I'm talking to in the group and community I'm trying to create. And I genuinely believe we have something special cooking on my Instagram right now. YouTube just started back up, and I love YouTube more than anything. For the most part, I think I'm probably just going to cut up my YouTube videos and put them on my Instagram moving forward, depending on what I film, which is pretty much everything, right? But I guess more so, let's just get into the video. So I guess the first topic I wanted to discuss is return on investment, ROI, if you didn't know what that meant. So what does that mean when it comes to your life and your daily habits and the structure and foundation you currently have in place? So the way I look at it is, what are the long-term effects of this? Or what are the even short-term effects of this? And I come at this perspective from an area of growth. I was an ex-frat boy, degen, whatever you want to call it. I was going out all the time, a lot of parties, a lot of drinking, a lot of girls, a lot of fun memories, to be honest. But everything happens for a reason, and I am the person I am today due to those situations. And basically what I'm trying to say is those areas of my life happened for a reason, and I've learned from them. And now I'm trying to be a voice for someone who may be struggling with that right now. And a return on investment when it comes to my life is, I don't go out anymore. I don't spend money on things like drinking and going out to the clubs like I used to anymore. I don't really go out to have group friend meals at restaurants, I guess you could say, which is a little sad, I guess, but there's reasons to that, and it's nothing against those people. And what else could I think of? Anything on the weekend, like just events, markets, whatever it is. There's always an event. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at here. So I guess, what do you have to look at in terms of what will you get out of it? Yes, you can always make the argument, memories, experiences, core memories even, just anything like that. You're having fun, you're enjoying yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not anti-fun. I will drink my face off and celebrate and party if the time is appropriate. So I enjoy the fruits of my labor when the time is appropriate. So enough with the $10 words, buzzwords I'm using. If you're going out to drink, what does that cost? Money, time, energy. Those are your three most valuable resources. So you're going to go out, you're going to drink, you're going to get a couple pictures, videos, drunk memories with your friends. Maybe you won't even remember the night. The point I'm trying to make is all of those things are putting you nowhere. You're going to wake up feeling hungover, regretful maybe, rotten stomach. You're going to have to spend more money maybe on greasy food or Advil for your head or Gatorades or Plan B even. Like, you never know. There's so many costs that just go into something like that. And if you're doing that all the time and not having a reason to celebrate those moments for, I think you may need to reevaluate a few things. And I hope you don't take that message the wrong way. I genuinely say this out of love in trying to help you, because I was there and it sucks. It's hard to separate yourself from that group or aspect or area of your life when you do have friends and there is nothing wrong with them or against them or what they're doing. It's just you are growing as a person and you realize that you want different things out of this life. And for you to be able to get to that point, you may need to separate yourself for a while or only come out on occasion. Or personally, myself, I'm not saying this is practical for everyone. You just got to go isolation mode. Monk mode is what they call it in the guru space. Monk mode. Look it up. But yeah. And another example, yeah. So I guess that example just transcribes to really all areas of, I guess, scenarios that you could be doing that aren't putting you ahead. So the other side of that is, what can you be doing to get a great return on your investment? Going to the gym, putting good food in your body, putting good education in your mind, not doom scrolling, consuming educational content. All of these things are going to have a much better return on your life than all of those other things. And if you can't separate yourself from that group of friends, try and pitch the idea of doing something that doesn't involve alcohol or a lot of money or a lot of just time, energy, and effort, money, anything. Social battery, like, just, there's a lot of free things you can do. And this might be an unfortunate truth. I'm a firm believer that if you pitch that idea and you don't necessarily get a nice response or a very, oh, that's a good idea, or like, oh, that sounds great, or awesome, let's do that, oh, that's blah blah blah, I hope you understand what I'm saying. If that isn't reciprocated, I truly believe those people may not be your real friends. You can take that however you want, but I hope you get what I'm saying. You can change these aspects of your life to improve the long-term effects of your life. Why would you not want to do that from the get-go? You know what I mean? All right, guys. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the food, the nutritional aspect of your life, because this is a very difficult area for me personally to continuously be conscious about what I'm putting in my body, but more so into that, just the lack of nutritional value in a lot of our foods, I guess, for lack of better words. So I had a follower of mine from Instagram recently reach out to me, and his name is Reese. If you're watching this, shout out to you, bro. And yeah, we just got to chatting about just exactly what I'm trying to build: fitness, life, mental, outlooks, community, where you want to be. And we just got to chat, and then food was brought up. He was going to Italy recently, and he's talking about how he wants to watch what he's eating leading up to when he goes to Italy so he can basically overconsume when he's there, which I don't blame him. And sorry to call you out, bro, but this is a very educational video. Because he said that, it provoked me to think of the quality of food in Europe, because I'm in Canada, obviously, if you can't tell with the snow behind me. So I guess maybe ignorantly thinking or prematurely thought to tell him, don't worry about over consuming in Italy because the food is so good over there. I've been personally, and even my mother, who is gluten free, like celiac, or just like she's just gluten free AF, and she went over there with me, her family. We went over there with my Uncle Rob and family, my cousins, Ma and Riley, and had an amazing time and ate the best food. It was amazing memories, right? And my mom was eating all the pasta and the pizza and the biscuits and the bakery stuff that we were all eating. No effect. No effect. She was fine. Like crazy, right? So what does that say? And obviously she's like, sure, maybe she wasn't eating as much as this big fella Vanilla was, but I hope you get the point of what I'm trying to make here. Like, the food in Europe is a lot better quality than in North America. And I can say that too, coming from living in Europe or Asia for the past year or so. The food in Asia is spectacular, by the way, like best ever. But Italian food by far is my favorite food, you know. And I wanted to add on to like the bakery stuff I was just talking about. I'm not trying to come on here and say I'm perfect. If you really know who like me personally, I'm not sure if anyone who does is even watching this, but I'm all about my sweet treats, my bakery stuff, biscuits, muffins, donuts, Timbits, anything from Tim Hortons in the bakery section, candy, all of it. I love it. Like, love it. It's one of my biggest vices. However, I try, for the most part, not to overconsume or overindulge on it, right? So you want to be extremely cautious whilst being in North America, I believe. Probably more so just Canada and the US. Mexico probably has great food, if I'm being honest. Just GMO stuff. Just ingredients you can't read. Doritos is terrible for you. Red 40, Yellow 5. Seed oils. Just, if they don't have a parent, if the ingredient or food doesn't have like a parent, or it came from the ground, like, it's kind of scary. But again, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, because again, I drink energy drinks every day, and let's just say those aren't good. But yeah, that's an area that you definitely want to be a lot more cautious about, I think, in not only your early 20s, but just in the remaining time you're here on this earth. Like, whoever's watching this, just take it from a random 22-year-old Canadian. Be food cautious. It's what's going in your body. You got to treat your body like a home, right? So you're going to be in there for the next, for me, 80 years, hopefully, or close to 80 years. Hopefully I can live to 100. That'd be pretty cool. But I hope you get what I'm saying. So the next aspect I wanted to talk upon is the gym and your fitness. So for starters, this is my take, by the way, coming from, again, a 22-year-old. If you're in your early 20s and you aren't going to the gym, I'll be conservative here, 4 times a week at least. I really do think you need to evaluate things, again, out of love. You can find some time to even just 20 minutes, bro, or a girl. I promise you can find the time. Why do I say that? Because I know I'm not saying I'm working 80 hours a week or have a kid or a family or mortgage, but I do know that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is push-ups. It's the best thing to start your day, not only for the compounding effect over time. It's going to grow your chest, your strength, whatever, but the pump gets your blood moving, and it's just an optimal way to start your day. Not saying you have to do a full workout at that time, but if anything, start doing that. Like, promise you, you're going to see a great effect in your life. And then on top of that, start making your bed too. If you don't make your bed, that's embarrassing. Start by doing one task in the morning. Do your push-ups, make your bed, or make your bed, do your push-ups. One task. Psychology quite literally shows it will lead to doing another task. So, why I wanted to talk about that. My ADHD is kicking in, and that was an area I did want to talk upon, but more so into that. The gym. So when you are training, you need to train properly and not like, how do I say that? Like tailored towards a specific goal. Weight loss, putting on muscle, losing weight, leaning out whilst keeping muscle, bulking, hypertrophy training, CrossFit training, just being an athlete, I guess, is just all styles of training. I hope you get what I'm saying. You need to do it properly. And if you are an athlete, you don't really need to listen to this because you would know all these things. But if you don't have any, I guess, prior knowledge or foundation built within a sport, it's probably difficult in the gym, and it's probably hard to navigate at the start. And I just wanted to briefly highlight how I have my knowledge and expertise. So for starters, my parents had me in soccer cleats and basketball shoes when I was like 3. So always like right away. So I've been always playing sports, and soccer, basketball, cross country, track and field, golf, snowboarding, gym. Obviously I did not powerlifting, but I did like strength performance training. What else? I don't know. Like, I just love doing it all. I'm in football for a little bit. I never actually played, but I tried, and then COVID hit. But anyways, I'm just saying, played a lot of sports, and I owe a lot of how my physique looks today and my knowledge and my outlook on health and fitness to those communities, the people involved, the professionals in those niches, and the, sports therapists, the exercise physicians, or the scientists, or whatever you want to call it, all those sports science medicine people, and my coaches, not my basketball coaches, if you're watching this, my soccer coaches, yes, for the most part. And, but the point I'm trying to make is all of those experiences and moments shaped who I am today, which I have talked upon briefly. But to go back to the movements correctly, if you ever have any questions, make sure to just ask me on my Instagram at parker.moves. I'm here to help for free. I'm not going to charge you for random advice. That's crazy. People are just all about transactional relationships, which goes into what I wanted to talk about too, which is you are a product of your environment. Therefore, you are what you eat. Hang with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th. Hang with 4 alcoholics, you'll be the 5th. Hang with 4 gamblers, you'll be the 5th. And I know a lot of you have probably heard this on TikTok before. This isn't unknown knowledge, I guess you could say. But ask yourself, are you truly using this information and utilizing it in your day-to-day life. So what I mean by that, it just goes back to the weekend scenario I gave. You need to find people that accept you for you, truly have your best interest in mind, and only want to uplift you. And I'm a very intuitive person. My intuition is very, very good, extremely good. And I'm very good at reading people and energy. It's probably why I studied psychology. Anyways, you can tell for me right away if this is going to be your type of person or not. And if not right away, give it some time. But what I mean by that is you need to basically remove yourself from that equation respectfully without damaging the emotional aspect of either party involved, because you never want to hurt these people, because again, it may not be the people, it's just you realizing you may want different things, and that's the first step in growth. And if you want these things, you then have to realize, what do you have to do to get these things? Okay, I need to do this, this, and this. So you need to realize, to get to that goal, there's work required. And if you are willing to do the work required to get to said goals, the work works. The last thing I wanted to discuss was circling back to the content you consume. And I just wanted to give a few jot notes or sub notes, footnotes, I don't know, on what I personally do myself. I'm not saying you have to do it, but you need to consume educational content, and content that isn't going to give you negative thoughts, negative emotions, or provoke emotions or heighten emotions. And what I mean by that is, how do I say this? So obviously with Meta, TikTok, whatever you're going to start consuming, it's just going to spit you more of, right? So it's hard to avoid that. For me, I just personally just straight up deleted TikTok. Had a personal brand on there with over 12,000 followers, over 1 million likes, multiple videos with 5 million plus views. But the content on TikTok is so consuming, brain rot, just negative. It just lowers your frequencies, honestly. And if you know anything about frequencies, you don't want to lower them hoes. Straight up. Where was I going with this? So the education you want to consume is going to be depending on what you're into. So for me, I listen to podcasts in the sauna. I listen to podcasts on my run. I listen to podcasts on my walk in the gym when I'm stretching. If I'm just chilling, editing a video, or if I am doing something, cooking, whatever, I'll just put a podcast on. And for me personally, my favorites in this moment of time would be Jack Neal, the Jack Neal podcast. He has some pretty controversial guests on there. However, he is a very neutral response character. How do I word it? He asks very good questions, and I saw something he posted last night. He just is very good at holding the authoritative figure, and he's a genius when it comes to marketing. So he's had Andrew Tate, Alex Hormozy, Nick Fuentes, that clavicular guy, some really big names in the space. I'm forgetting probably some massive ones. However, he just posted an Instagram clip not too long ago of a compilation of moments in those podcasts. Maybe these big figures only just said it once in like 1 second in that 3-hour long podcast, for example. However, he clipped it up and put it into like a 10-second reel. Obviously, he's smart. The dopamine goblins and the quick effect people are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Let's put it on there and clip up every single moment of these massive billionaire influential people in the world saying, good question, Good question. And put a trending audio on it. Boom, boom, boom. And at the end, put your podcast at the Jack Neal Podcast. We ask okay questions. It makes you think, if all these massive figures are saying that, maybe he does ask okay questions. And then you're going to think, okay, I'm going to listen to that. And maybe you'll tell your friends, these ask good questions, because these already massive authoritative figures are asking or stating that he is asking good questions, but he's marketing it in a way that's making you, the consumer, challenge your thinking, he would say. So on top of the Jack Neal Podcast, I also listen to Diary of a CEO. I think that is Stephen Bartlett. Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson, I think, yeah. And then sometimes I'll listen to Bradley Martin, depending on the guest he has on. Bradley is the GOAT regardless, but I don't always want to listen to the random guests he has. But when he does have like guests that I think are interesting, it's a great listen always. Bradley is a very informative guy. He's always kept it a $1.50. He's been in the game forever. His knowledge is impeccable. One day I would love to meet him and tell him how much he inspired not only me, but dozens of others. So if somehow Bradley Martin is watching this, send me a DM at parker.moves. I'd love to chat. What else? I think that might be it, really. This is going to be maybe a long video. However, I hope someone got something out of this, and please comment if you did. It means the world to me. Drop a subscription or drop a subscription. What am I, 60? Anyways, I can hear my grandma in my head right now. Hit the sub button. Be nice. Be kind. Spread positive vibes. You are what you think about at the end of the day. So at least put those thoughts to positive, impactful things in your own life, right? Cheers, guys. See you in the next one.